Oh, so it's your turn, Aries, huh? Well, here we are. We're going to go for it, okay? This is Tarot Illumination. This is your love and relationship report for October 2017. That's you, Aries, okay? This is about a significant other with a significant other, a chosen relationship, typically. And we're going to read for you the energy of the other and the relationship itself on the understanding that the relationship is an entity in its own. It has its own structure, identity, purpose, being, and meaning, and all of that. And in a really loving, healthy relationship, both parties conduct themselves through the relationship. All right, let's just get to it. No jumpers, no oracles, no flyers, no reversals, none of that. We're just keeping it really simple, just trying to read for the energy and let the story unfold. And then you can reinterpret everything however you want. Squash it all up with your sun, moon, and rising, and then write your own story. Okay? That's the best way to do this. And I'm just here to help you guys, all right? So the cards were already well pre-shuffled in advance, but we're going to the last second so that you are a witness. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to cut, and then we're going to cut again. Just like that. All right, Aries, I hope you're having a good October and making the best of it. Let's see what's going on. This would be you with your energy, okay? This would be a significant other and their energy. This is going deep into you, deep into you, deep into the other, and then we go to the relationship itself. So can you see the bowl shape we have here? This is the crucible of the relationship itself. The crucible is a very tough, enduring container that can withstand tremendous alchemical pressures, the things that occur in a significant relationship, okay? So this would be like the momentum where things are going as you move through October. Remember, this too shall pass, Aries. This is not the beginning, the middle, and end of everything. This is just one reading for one little short chapter in your life. We're going to look at the bottom card in a second. We're calling that the weather. Let's say prevailing conditions that surround you, your relationship, your world, that can impact the relationship or your feelings about the relationship or the dynamics of the relationship, but you're not going to let the weather own you. A good, healthy Aries would take charge of the situation, read the weather accordingly, and make the best of it. Just like a good farmer. Let's have a look. What you got going? Taking charge and, whoa, okay. Grabbing the steering wheel of life. Let's put it that way. So there's no messing around here. You've got the Chariot. Like prevailing conditions right now. This could be like the setup, like if you were like in a big sailing event or something, this could be like the perfect sailing conditions for winning, okay, where you've got the right boat with the right sails at the right time and the right situation with the right crew, the right people. You've got all your skills and talents and gifts all lined up, all ready to go. You're heading forward into the future, which of course is the unknown, but you're well prepared and very, very determined to make the best of this some way, somehow, corralling all of your gifts and powers and also bringing in all the, let's say, the parts of you that can withstand and endure tremendous conflict, and you smush it all together into this amazingly capable, let's say, entity, being, machine that works, the human being, the human body. And you're going to be in charge. You're going to be the one holding the steering wheel, okay? And you're heading off. Let's have a look. What's going on with you? Well, those are the conditions around you. Those are like prevailing conditions that might inspire you to want to take charge, okay? It might be saying, this is the time now for you, Aries, to really, really grab the reins in your life and go for it, perhaps in ways that you've never done before. Take all the unintegrated parts of yourself, the shadow aspects of your being, and all the brilliant light aspects, squash it all together into one. Admit that you're a human being with all your light and glory and all your flaws and shadows, and then go for it anyway. All right? So that's what the weather is telling you. What about you? Kaboom! All right, so we got some pretty big cards to get things rolling here, Aries. So October might be a very significant month for you where in some ways you're seeing that you've got a chance to start life all over again, kind of from scratch, where you have much more say in matters, where you are much more in charge of your destiny, and you're going to make the most of it. But it's also on the understanding that you have lived either a lifetime or lifetimes of epic proportions to the point where it's like a series, like a trilogy of movies or something, or a quadrilogy, whatever it's called, where you're now at a point where you can safely say, wow, I've been there, I've done that, I've climbed this mountain, I've faced this obstacle, I've overcome everything, I've experienced all the epic joys of life and love and relationship. I've experienced all the epic sorrows and griefs and miseries and tragedies of life and love and relationship. And it's all perfectly fine because that's just how it's supposed to be. And that particular chapter of my life is done. It's over. And throughout October, you might start to get this awareness that, wow, things just start all over again. In other words, it's like a revolving door. You've just come out of one big movie about Aries Mark 1, and it was epic. You've lived all of it. It's just like a massive life cycle, a massive, I call it lifestyle package deal. And you lived through that like a big epic movie, and it had everything, all the people, the events, the circumstances, the experiences, the ups and downs, like a huge movie. And now it's over. That's okay. It's over because it's going to start all over again, where you're going to be much more center stage as opposed to just a random participant this time. In other words, you're going to kind of have much more of a leading role, let's put it that way, or you're being encouraged to step up and take much more of a leadership leading role in how your life unfolds in the context of a loving relationship from here onwards, as opposed to just like being nice or just going with whatever happens. It's a very, very different story now unfolding from here. So let's have a look. What about the other? What's going on over there? Bam-o. God. Aries, what is going on here? We've got mega cards on the opening. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So Aries, I don't know, maybe you just scored big time. Maybe you just got effing lucky and you either attracted someone or somebody found you or somebody wished you into their life and they are just a beaming ray of sunshine and that's all they know how to do. All they know how to do is radiate love and light and happiness, and anything less than that is below them because it doesn't make any sense to them. Why would you want to be anything less? And so they make a very simple, like childlike decision. You know what? I'm happy. I like to be happy. I want to stay happy. I like you. You look like you're perfect for me because you understand things on an epic scale the way I do. So what do you think? How do you feel about us right now? Let's start all over again and let's pretend that I'll pretend I'm over here. This is the other person. They're brand new. Even if it's like recycling the old one, you know, like we do that in relationships sometimes. We kind of press the massive reboot button and we reformat everything and we start all over again. You renew your vows, you get married again, you go on a honeymoon again, you go on holiday together, and you rekindle and start everything all over from scratch because it's the perfect time to do that. And what's happening, it feels, Aries, as though you're kind of aware of this, even though it's on a kind of a magnificent scale. You seem to be handling it in a way that's very, very balanced and harmonious because you've probably learned through whatever they call it, the School of Hard Knocks or the University of Life, that everything was exactly how it should be. It always is and it always will be because it can't be any other way. And that's the beauty of what's happening to you right now, Aries. And it's like you're being issued a massive, big hint from heaven above that this is your time, Aries. This is your time to go for it, and a chance to start all over again and share your life with someone who's literally a lighthouse, a beacon of light and love and happiness. And they just, that's who they are. That's what they do. And there's nothing wrong with being that way. It doesn't happen that often, but these people do exist. There's certainly one here for you in your life right now. And they seem to be more than happy to be here with you because they can see a chance for them to really glow and shine in the context of a relationship. And it's almost like they get really excited and turned on by you because you are so awesome yourself. In other words, it takes one to know one, put it that way. You might have just got really, really lucky, Aries, and you've just kind of met your match where your own epic awesomeness is now coming into its full splendor and being, and you get to share that with someone who's also radiating their own epic awesomeness to the max with no intention of dialing it back at all or apologizing to anyone about any of that, which inspires you to say, you know what? If you can do that, I can do that too. That'll be awesome. Maybe we can do it together. You want to catch a ride? I'll give you a ride. Come on board. I have this amazing vehicle. It's called me. So, sorry, I get so carried away sometimes with the images that come through my head and heart and soul as I feel this stuff. It feels very cinematic. Okay, Aries, I'm just letting you know this feels like a sort of an epic movie. And whatever you were doing, living in Aries Mark 1, the old movie, it's, boxed and filed away on the shelf, and you're starting right away on the new big one. And this is the big one, okay? Let's have a look. What's going on inside of you? Okay. Well, I mean, it's going to be whatever cards we pull up from now, it's going to be hard to match up to this kind of degree of awesomeness. So I'm going to try and dial back my enthusiasm here to get a bit of a reality check, okay, Aries? So that you just don't, turn into a massive fireworks sparkler and explode and then just fizzle up into nothing. No, we have to keep going, all right, here? So deep inside of you, Aries, it might be that you're in this situation now, you're realizing kind of what's going on, and it's almost dumbfounding. And you can go back like when you just focus on your own energy right now as opposed to the energy of the other, or the energy of the relationship, or the energy of the circumstances and the environments that are triggering all this amazing inspiration and desire to move forward and start from scratch again. That's awesome. But once you kind of, let's say, just chill out for a moment and relax and sit down, maybe just having a cup of tea at the kitchen table or something, or just sitting at a park bench, just taking all of this in, you realize that you have gone through and lived through so much, and you've been very courageous, and you have every right to be proud about how courageous you are to have lived through Aries Mark 1, the original movie. And having this chance now to start all over again and to live the movie Aries Mark 2, where you are in a it's almost like one of those classic movies where you get the ultimate hero with the ultimate heroine or whatever, and they're just beautifully matched, and it just all works out beautifully. And I can't help it. I'm going overboard here for you, Aries, because I'm happy for you. But it does imply that deep down, this just didn't happen just by flicking a switch. You had to go through tremendous battles and endurance where your inner courage and strength was challenged to the absolute maximum. And at all times, you always rose up to the occasion, just like in an epic hero movie, where you're taking everything was right to the edge and you never knew where you're going to make it. Of course, the audience knew that you're going to make it, but still, it's a cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger. What happened? Oh, are they going to make it? Oh no! Oh no! Oh gosh! They did it! They did it! Oh, that's awesome! Wow! Well done, Aries. So like, wow, I don't know what to tell you. This is very brave, very courageous, and you're being your most awesome self, and you're digging it up from the core of your being, which is that like awesome warrior energy anyway. So it's almost like you're in the right place in the right situation with the right person in the right time for the right reasons to carry on in the way that you do. It may not have to be so exhausting as the first time round in Aries 1, because you might have chance now to like chill out and relax and enjoy what it's like to be in a happy, fun, fulfilling, loving relationship where you really, really are being encouraged to shine and be your own light and be your own boss and create your own new world. Now, what about what's going on inside of them? I mean, where can you go from here with the Sun card? It makes every other card in the reading very difficult to read. That's how I feel it anyway. Let's see what's going on. So, okay, my first impression here is that as far as they're concerned, this is gold. This relationship is gold, and it's what they've perhaps been dreaming for their whole life, where, you know, it might be wonderful to feel like this all day, every day, this indefatigable happiness and joy and love and light for themselves and others around it. But sometimes they might have lived in such a way where they had no sense of stability, no sense of grounding, no sense of foundations, or who or why or what they're doing here on this planet in the first place, except to be this radiant being of love and light. And now they can see a sense and a reason and a purpose to it all, and they feel it inside themselves that, wow, this is actually really good. They might be thinking like, wow, this is really, really good for me, the person. This relationship with this other Aries person is really, really good for me. I'm totally digging it because I get to be me here, like you, this not you, Aries, but this other person really gets to be them in their natural state, and it gets to be very stabilizing for them. So it's like being a lighthouse and having very, very solid, heavy granite foundations that make the lighthouse indestructible, even in the most challenging weather conditions, which is when the lighthouse has to be most effective. Because what's the point of being a lighthouse if you just switch off and run away when there's hurricanes and storms? No, the whole point of lighthouse energy is to be that beacon of life, love, and light and hope and guidance and happiness that reassures everyone else that it's going to be okay, and that there's here's the light that you need to endure and be safe and enjoy life. And that can only happen when there's a sense of stability and foundation. And they might feel that they had that now, courtesy of you, Aries. So that's very appealing to them. And it's like being built on granite. Like, how Manhattan, the island Manhattan is just apparently it's a massive lump of granite, which is probably the only reason why it's possible for them to have built so many thousands of skyscrapers on one tiny island that's only 10 miles long and 3 miles wide, but it works because it's founded on granite. And even if they had an earthquake, the whole thing would just go like that and nothing really serious is going to happen. It's built on rock, built on granite. So it's like Aries, they're digging this. They're totally digging this. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at the core of the relationship itself. It's one of these readings. It reports it seems to be going really fast. Maybe it's just because your energy, Aries, is so fast and just wants to charge and go, and I'm just rolling with it and I can't help it. I feel a lot of passion here, love and light in a very, very abundant way. This is not so much that gooey, poetic type love. This is big love, big, big, big love and light, where you become like real equals. There's so much equality and balance of power here that I think it's very good for both parties. Let's have a look at the relationship itself. Wow, it's very transformational. This is amazing. Don't be scared of this, okay? This is the DEATH card, and I'm saying it like that to allow for the possibility that some very young people might turn into the channel, and we don't want to trigger the, community guidelines automated censor buttons, okay? So it might be that this relationship, Aries, is exactly what you need. And this relationship is exactly what they need, because it's like literally transformational for both of you. The energy, the relationship itself is a crucible of transformation. It's almost like it's the ultimate crucible in which the 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 shedding of what needs to be shedded in terms of the lower self can occur in a very safe, solid, reliable, fun, enjoyable way, so that the new versions of you, Aries, can occur and grow, and the same for them. So it's reciprocal. It's very much a reciprocal, it's mutual transformation. All the transformation that is going to happen to you, Aries, in the context of this loving relationship is going to have a reciprocal transformational effect on your significant other. And typically, this would be transformational healing. I like to think of that in the context of Tarot Illumination, because Tarot Illumination is very much about the energy of love and healing, okay? So please don't be scared of this card. I see it as very good news for both of you and everyone else around you, frankly. I feel it is very, very empowering, because although I have to, cover things a little bit here, because sometimes the energy of transformation can be so, let's say, disorienting that you don't actually want to do it. So as much as you're totally present here, Aries, and you're totally seeing the chance and the opportunity to grasp life and take charge and have full ownership of self, and it's fully endorsed and appreciated and adored and by a significant other who's relating to you on your wavelength in a very, very harmonious, balanced way. Now, these aren't cup cards, but there's a lot of good, loving energy here, but it's coming out and it's expressing through the frequencies of power, okay? And because there's a lot of power with the Sun card. There's a lot of power that goes with the Chariot here too. So it's going to have a very transformational effect on yourself and each other, where the relationship itself is that's what it is. That's what it does. It speaks of transformation. The whole purpose of the relationship is for deep soul transformation of yourself and another, to extract the maximum light and value from the other, extract the maximum potential of yourself as well from the inside out, and grow from there by, what they say. What is it that they say in those like laws of attraction studies, where the pathway to happiness is by removing the obstacles? And that's what I feel is going on here. It's going to be a tremendous opportunity for both sides, you, Aries, and a significant other, to live in the crucible of the relationship, so that it is like a constant transformation, so that you're always blossoming and growing and evolving into your newer, higher self. All right, so I feel this has a kind of a long-term trajectory, even though we're just talking about October right now. So what's the momentum here? So what it does, I feel that this relationship is very, very transformational for both you and the other, because what it does, it exposes everything that needs to be revealed in order to heal, okay, which might have been ignored or totally unapparent to you, Aries, or the significant other. But now this is a really good opportune time for these issues to be addressed. And the best way to do it is in the context of this kind of epic relationship, where the relationship itself is speaking very loudly about the energy of transformational healing, vibrational healing, where you live your life as vibrating, pulsing beings, and their energy has a transformational effect on you, and your energy has a transformational effect on the other. And you get into that energy of magnetic resonance, where We've done this before a couple of times where you get that, you know, you take a glass or something. I'll see if I got a glass. Stay there. Okay, this is just a demonstration. It's not going to work, but you know, have you seen that trick where you go like this with a glass and it kind of goes wow, 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 wow. And then there's another glass here with exactly the same glass with exactly the same amount of water in it. And you don't have to touch that glass, but when you do this over here, Aries, and you're doing this, living your life, just being you, living through your transformational healing experiences, wow, 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 wow. Over here, it's just the same, but it's happening automatically because they're starting to resonate just like that, but nothing's touching it. It's just happening. Wow, 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 over here. And guess what happens? That sets off like a breeder reactor where that energy now amplifies your own energy. So it becomes transformational healing amplified and amplified and amplified over it again. So what can happen is as the vibrations occur, they shake loose and they very, very gently and very carefully decalcify all the ideas and thoughts and things and perceptions and attitudes and beliefs that might have been very deeply fossilized inside of you, Aries, perhaps inside of them, that needed to be shaken up. You know how when they're sieving for gold, they have these very high speed shaking things that just go, and all the dust and the rubble just flies away, and you're left with the little nuggets in the end. And so that's what I feel is going on here. There's like vibrational energy healing that happens because of the radiance of the sun and the opportunity for you, Aries, to tap into your own power. And what happens is all of this stuff gets shaken about where all the things that you would have felt in your life, in your world, are being exposed in the context of this relationship as the obstacles that they were. Like the preconditioning, the attitudes, the habits, the old redundant conditioning that you might have inherited for childhood. Everything gets exposed for what it really is, like, which means, oh my gosh. So we can focus and tune in the transformational healing of the relationship itself to deal with this one. Poof, then this one, poof, then this one, poof, poof, poof. So you're not living in a maze of a life anymore. You're actually clarifying and refining and purifying life as you go through life. And it's almost like you're setting a template here for life moving forward coming out of October, where you can keep this kind of template going even though the relationship dynamics may change later on, because then you can live life without having to be scared of it or wanting to avoid what needs to be done. You can actually immerse yourself in the process of long-term transformational healing. So whenever new layers of conflict and inappropriate, useless, redundant ways of being and thinking and feeling become exposed, they just get blown away. And so there's an endless refinement and healing process going on here. It's actually kind of beautiful, Aries. Okay, I've said enough here. You can reinterpret this however you want. Like we said before, I'll just show this to you again. That's the prevailing weather conditions around you, but it's a strong hint for you to be this way too. And we said enough. Reinterpret however you want. Watch your sun, moon, and rising. Thank you for choosing Tarot Illumination. I love doing this for you. Have an awesome October. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Aries. See you again. All right? Bye.